Hello friends, welcome to my video on the Motorola Moto E, and in this video I'll be comparing this phone against one of the higher end phones, that is the Nexus 4. And as you can see here, we have both the handsets. The Nexus 4 is the black version and the Moto is the white version, which doesn't do anything on the performance. So here we have, the Nexus 4 is actually on a different launcher, and I'll show that to you right now. It is on the Nova launcher. I use it all the time because it is really intuitive. They have a lot of customizable options. So I'm turning it off and turning on the stock launcher, so that both these phones are running on the stock launchers. And now let's take a look at the Android version. As you can see here, it is 4.4.2, which is the latest at this point of time, which is called the KitKat. Now let's take a look at the opening of applications in both of the devices. But before that, I want to make sure that these phones were switched off a while ago, and I just switched on these devices, and as you can see in the status, the uptime is shown as 4.20 on both of these devices. So these were just shut down and restarted. And also, as you can see here, it has 5 home screens with the same widgets all around. Now let's take the comparison. The camera first. That was almost neck to neck, though the camera popped up first on the Nexus 4. Now let's take a look at a browser, Chrome. Okay, I already searched something on the Chrome, as you can see in the Nexus 4, but still the Nexus 4 was a bit ahead. So now let's take a look at Firefox. That was neck to neck, Firefox. Now let's take a look at a train application which is called Axigo. Opened at the same time, but I made a mistake because this application was installed recently on the Moto E, and as you can see here, it had to set up. So let's call that a draw. Now let's take a look at opening of the MX Player video player app. So that was Nexus 4. The difference is really minute, it's not even a second. So now let's take a look at Opera Mini. That was the Moto E actually, kind of. Now let's take a look at a bit heavy app which is called the Soundhound. Oh, which is surprisingly the Moto E. So this is actually a quite heavy app because it needs a lot of data in the background. Now let's take a look at a heavier app, which is Starchart. It needs to load up the whole the map, the sky map. And as you can see here, the Nexus 4 is actually winning. But wow, look at that, the Moto is actually catching up, and actually it won. So that was a bit of surprise, but I really hate this because the Moto E was bought for my sister and the Nexus 4 is actually mine. So I hate this. So I'm gonna take a look at a game which is Temple Run 2. As you can see here in this, it clearly popped up first on the Nexus 4, and it is going to load up first on the Nexus 4 because of that amazingly good Adreno 320 graphics engine. And you can already play that game now, and the Moto E is right behind, so there is no much lag. And as you noticed, I just clicked the home button in the middle of the game. Now let's take a look at multitasking of these devices, and as you can see here, the Moto E is actually really good at multitasking. Can actually do a pretty amazing job in here. The Nova launcher is still on the Nexus 4. So, and as you can see now, we are seeing a bit of glimpse. And now let's take a look at the game, and now you can see the deficiency of this Moto E. Well, there's only 1 GB of RAM, and as you can see, it is taking a bit of time to load up. The memory is actually the culprit here, I guess. And now let's take a look at a really good game, a graphic intense game. The Real Steel, as you can see, with a lot of it started first on the Nexus 4, and as you can see here, but there is a bit of problem in here because the Nexus 4 is I played with this Nexus 4 for a long time, and it actually had to load up a lot of data, much more data than the Moto E. Whichever the Moto E, I just installed this application, as you can see here. So maybe that's the reason, but still the Moto E loaded up the game faster than the Nexus 4, which is actually insane. As you can see here. So now let's take a look at benchmarking. Well, I'm not really a big fan of benchmarking devices because it doesn't really translate into real life performances. So we just started the quadrant benchmark application, and as it goes through, let me notify you that the quadrant benchmark was last updated on somewhere in 2012. So this is 2014. It is almost 2 years. So it is a really old app. I will never ever rely on an application like this. But still, what is the comparison without a benchmark these days? So let's take a look at this, and as you can see here, the frame rates, which is actually really good on the Moto E, which uses a 1.2 GHz dual core Snapdragon 200 chipset with 1 GB of RAM and Adreno 302 GPU. So let's take a look at the results, and this is going to be really surprising because, as I said, the Nexus 4 actually gives 4,333, where the Moto E gives you a score of 5,254. So that was a bit of a comparison between these two devices. So as you can see, the Moto E is just superb device in this price range. At 7,000 rupees, you cannot really go wrong with this device, and the performance is unmatched in this area. The display is really good, as you can see here. While going through the menus and all, it is really good phone. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. That's about it, my friends. So bye bye. Thanks for watching.